Good morning, Lacrosse community. My name's Ryan Berns. I'm the founder of the Lacrosse Leadership Institute. Lacrosse has had such a huge impact on so many of our lives. It's allowed us to live the lives that we want to live, and it's given us key skills that allow us to be successful. I'm so excited and grateful for our guest today, Mike Wein, to share his story. I think it's going to touch everyone on the conversation today. Mike, can you start by giving everyone a little bit more background on you, how you got into lacrosse in the first place, and tell us a little bit about your journey and where it's taken you?
So good morning. Thank you so much, Ryan. Honored to be here. Hopefully we got a bunch of people listening and hopefully we can get more out there. And hi, my name is Papi and I am the founder of Brady's Bunch Lacrosse. My son is Brady Wein. He's a cancer survivor. I started this journey in 2004, Chaparral High School, Mountain View Park. I bumped into a gentleman in Arizona. And like you know, being in Arizona, if you have an East Coast accent, you tell them you know about lacrosse, they need to know who you are, where you come from, what you're doing, all sorts of things like that. So to make a long story short, I coached back at Chaparral High School. We won 49 games in a row, 3 out of 4 state titles. And, you know, I've always loved and cared for Arizona lacrosse, right? That's where it started. I coached the first ever Arizona Stars out of Scottsdale area. And the journey began in Arizona. And I've never brought in the bunch there, but Brady's Bunch is coming to Tucson and Scottsdale later on in the year. So my journey began in Arizona, and I've always had a heart for Arizona lacrosse. And that's kind of where it began. And Brady's Bunch is a nonprofit lacrosse organization, and we travel the country and raise money for families with medical expenses fighting cancer. We don't have kids or teams. We have kids that play for us when they want. My rules since 2003 are this. If your local team doesn't have an event and you're interested in playing with Brady's Bunch to raise money for families fighting cancer, then you play with us. You honor your local team. We're just another option out there. But we're not about winning. We're 1,000% about fundraising for families fighting cancer, sir.
Mike, and that's such a big thing to be playing for something bigger than yourself. And do you mind sharing a little bit more about how Brady's Bunch got started and share about Brady as well, please?
Yeah. So, like I told you, I started coaching in Arizona. I coached the first ever West Coast Stars team, coached the first ever Arizona Stars team, and then my son Brady was born with AML leukemia. So I turned a negative into a positive, and I formed a nonprofit called Brady's Bunch. And like I said, we travel the country and raise money for others. My son Brady lived in that hospital, you guys, not the big pretty one in Phoenix, that small little building, for 3 years with my wife Rachel. Had 2 bone marrow transplants, bilateral cataract surgery, been put to sleep over 450 times, 2 metal plates in his hip, and all he wants to do is be a big boy and play lacrosse. He lives for lacrosse. He knows what Brady's Bunch is about, and he loves it. And it was built literally in the hospital, right? I built it with my phone in the hospital. And as you see in the background here, I do this from my garage. I'm in Massachusetts. I'll have a space heater and a winter coat, and I sit in my garage and do this. People all the time. People say, where are you located? Wherever I'm standing. Wherever my phone is where the bunch is. And so we started traveling from Arizona to New York every 8 to 10 weeks for Brady to get a cell transfusion with his donor cells. Expenses were ridiculous. They're through the roof. Over 90% of the people that are in our situation file financial hardship. So that's when I came up with the ideas of raising money for families today. The research is the research, but if you can't afford to get to the hospital, then the medicine does you no good because you can't even afford to get there. Families need help today. They need gas money, they need food, they need things like that. And that's when I took this negative and turned it into a positive. And I've done probably over 200 events, and the money that's left over, we give to families fighting cancer. But before these kids get their uniform, they have to hand me a gift card. They hand me that gift card and I send them around the country. For instance, we come to Arizona, I will raise money for Children's Phoenix Hospital. Whatever state I'm in, I will raise money for that hospital. Yes, sir.
And Mike, I mean, it's unbelievable that you were able to face that adversity, take that negative and turn it into a positive and affect so
Well,
many
you don't have a
lives.
choice. You have two choices. What road you gonna take? You're gonna
Absolutely.
just fold? You're gonna fold, or you're gonna take a negative and turn it into a positive? Life is fun, bud, but it's not always fair. You got to play the cards you're dealt. I got dealt two bad cards. I turned those things into an ace and a queen real quick.
I absolutely love that, Mike. That's absolutely amazing. And through all of this, what would you say is your pinnacle event, or do you have a few pinnacles and highlights so far?
They're all the same. It doesn't matter if I go 6-0 or 0-6. I have never, ever lost an event, because every single time I go to an event, that means I raise money for a family fighting cancer. I don't need to score goals to win an event. I don't need to make saves to win an event. I tell the boys, the game's on the schedule, we're going to play it. Why not win? If I cared about winning, I'd have tryouts, I'd have practices. I don't care about winning. Those of you who follow us, you do know we win. You do know that we play teams that have been together for multiple years and multiple practices. And people say, how do you do it? Well, if you believe in the bunch, you know how we do it. If you don't believe in the bunch, that's fine, because this isn't for everyone. It takes a special person and family to want to do something like this. You know why it works, because it's not about you. It's about everybody but you. So my pinnacle is doing as many events as I can in a year. It doesn't matter if it's a small event in Arizona or the Denver shootout with 1,000 teams. They're absolutely all the same to me. All the same.
And Mike, it's unbelievable that you're able to create that culture. I think what you said is, it's not about yourself. It's
No
about
way.
the larger
No way.
event.
No way.
And
Look to the left of you, look to the right of you. You don't know that boy's name. You don't even know what state or country he's from. But that boy loves you. And why does this work? Because you need to love that boy to the left of you, to the right of you. I tell them that when I meet them on Friday night. And I tell them it might feel weird, but I repeat that time and time again. And by Sunday, whether we're 5-0 or 0-5, guess what? They love each other.
oh
They
my
do.
gosh. Yeah.
They do. They do. And I'm a one-man band, brother. I do this entire thing by myself with a notebook, pen and paper. My wife does the emails. If they told me years ago when I signed up I'd have to do this thing called Twitter and Instagram and Facebook Live, I wouldn't have signed up. But it is the times and it is what it is. But I don't know, bud. This corporate lacrosse is out of control. I understand what it is. It's a lacrosse business. There is no difference between Pizza Hut and Domino's. They both sell pizza. There is no difference between Club A and Club B. Why is one club better than the next? Because they charge more? Because they put more kids in college? I understand the business world. I just wish more people would give back. I just wish every single club in the country. Just imagine this. And I don't know about all you clubs out there, right? So if you give back, that's absolutely amazing. But clubs that don't give back, Why don't you put $5 more or $10 more in your registration fee, and at the end of the year, donate all that money to a local children's hospital? But I bet you don't even need to add any more money. I bet you there's money in there to donate. I just wish clubs would give back more. And another way, right, how we love to give back in leadership is, I have a great connection with the PLL and MLL, friends all in both leagues. And we like to go to your area and do a fundraiser with a local club for someone in their club going through cancer. So for instance, there's a terrible story going on in San Antonio. I teamed up with a club in San Antonio. We'll go out to San Antonio and invite all the youth in high school in that whole area and give money back to their community, right? Your big thing is leadership, and these are the things that we kind of teach our kids for leadership. Be proud of who you are, white, black, rich, or poor. Play every shift like it's your last, because one day it will be your last shift and you just don't know when that is. Sports is a privilege. Not everybody gets to do it. Just because you want to play sports doesn't mean you're guaranteed to play sports. And the big thing I've noticed over the last 7, 8 years is these kids need to be nicer to each other. They need to be nicer to each other. They need to be nicer to themselves. And they need to value their parents more than they already do. Like I tell these kids, your buddies are your buddies. But God forbid you were sick in the hospital, fighting cancer, fighting any disease. There's only one person allowed in that IC with you, rubbing your back, telling you everything will be okay. And that's your mom and dad. Brady, come say hi. Come get online and say hi to the lacrosse world.
Hey, Brady, how you doing, bud?
Good.
Yeah, what are you up to?
We're taking our doggy on a walk.
Oh, nice. Man, well, we really appreciate all that you guys have been up to. Have you guys been having any fun or playing any sports recently?
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
We've been playing lacrosse.
Nice, man. How are you shooting it nowadays?
Good.
I think I was watching a video a while back of you guys playing some hockey as well. Is it just lacrosse now, or are you still playing everything?
We play everything.
Nice, man. Well, it's awesome to see you, and I hope that the walk goes well.
Hey, Ryan, let's have Brady tell us what Brady Bunch means to him.
Brady, what does Brady's Bunch mean to you?
Do your best and never give up.
Oh, I absolutely love that, Brady. Absolutely love that.
And it means that we help families fighting cancer. We want to teach kids life lessons. And we want to help as many people as we can.
Well, Brady, I think you guys are definitely doing that, and you're an inspiration, whether you realize it or not. It's absolutely amazing that you guys have been able to go around and touch so many lives. It's from the professional baseball players to the lacrosse families that maybe have something going on in their own lives and the communities that you're able to affect. It's truly remarkable, man. Keep it up, man. Keep fighting and stay strong, buddy.
Thanks. No, you can make it bigger, Dada. Have a good day. No, you can make it
Brady.
bigger.
All right, so online schooling gives you breaks throughout the day, right?
Oh my God.
I don't even. So that's the deal, pretty much, right there.
I mean, Mike, it's unbelievable, and I just see the energy of Brady, and just hearing the story of basically from infancy to today. It's like you said, turning that negative into a positive, and truly a miracle. How do you build that culture and that environment that you have for all the kids? Because I feel your heart, I feel the love, and you have the right values that you're spreading. How did you cultivate those?
Yeah, because I'm a winner and I surround myself with winners. Okay. I'm an old school coach from the East Coast. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I tell it how it is. I expect so much out of these boys because of the people that built this program. Like we talked about, you, Andrew Muscara from Arizona. The people that put this uniform on years ago, they built it. It's called the original, the OB bunch, right? And they know who they are. They built it. They were the ones that loved each other. They were the ones that knew what the name on the jersey was. And they knew it wasn't about the back of the jersey. They knew it was about the front of the jersey. So the culture was built years and years ago. And as you see, I cry a lot. When I get around these kids, I cry a lot. I bring a ridiculous amount of energy. And it is so contagious that you almost don't have a choice to feel it. Now, like I told you, it's not for everybody. So if you can't grab it, then you're in for a long weekend and I'll never see you again. And it does happen. But there's just so much energy and love for each other and for what we're about. They have so much pressure on them when they play with their local club team. Have to score, have to get recruited. There is zero pressure when you play for us. The only pressure, and you don't have to be good to control this, is effort. We want you to make mistakes. You just got to make it at 112 miles per hour. Buddy, if you catch the ball in the crease and score, we give you a high five. If you catch the ball in the crease and you don't score, we give you a high five and a hug. What is the big deal? These are lacrosse games, right? These are lacrosse games, right? I built this thing from the hospital with my son in the ICU. I wasn't really worried about if the kid that I was getting to sign up was going to Hopkins or going to ASU. I just needed kids to sign up to help build this. My goal is to coach every kid in America once and teach them those life lessons. That's it. Every kid once. Every kid once. If you want to come back, come back. If you don't, get out of the way because we're moving. It grows every day, bud. It grows every day. And we will never, ever know how big it is. There was a college coach from Vermont the other day that on Twitter I found. I said, "Do you know about Brady's bunch?" His response, "Who doesn't?" I don't know. I wouldn't know this guy if he walked up right now and dropped the mail off. What do you mean, who doesn't? I don't know, sir. So it's bigger than I ever thought. We'll never know how big it is. And I'll do it as long as I can. Not 20 years, but like I'm going on year 19. 19 years, never a practice, never the same team twice. And people are worried about winning lacrosse games? What are you worried about? Buddy, I won 3 out of 4 state titles with Chaparral. My life did not change when we lost in the finals the 4th time. You know what I mean? Sorry, this is work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it comes down to that environment. You guys are all about teaching the life lessons at the end of the day of lacrosse, which is absolutely amazing. And that's really why I started this as well, is because winning, losing, it is what it is. Control what you can control. And that's what effort you put in. It's the love that you have. It's the love for others. And ultimately, that teaches you the skills so that you can face adversity moving forward and take a negative and turn it into a positive and make an exceptional life for yourself.
So when I first started this and we talked about the OB bunch, we're running up and down the field. Beautiful Vail, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, Maryland, Massachusetts, Florida. My son's in the hospital trying to stay alive. Do you really think I cared what the score was? Why would I care about the score? I got to worry about his ANC count. I got to worry about his next MRI. And here's the deal. Every single time we took the field, it was the exact same thing as a doctor walking into Brady's room. We, Brady's bunch, needed those doctors to be on point, whether they were in the room for 5 minutes or 50 minutes. You follow?
Yep.
If they were in the room for 5 minutes, I can't have the doctor be focused for 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Because what happens if they're unfocused for 5 seconds and we make the wrong decision? He dies. Oh, big deal. You made the wrong call on a man up. You didn't score. Did your life change? So I've even told teams and told refs, we're going to try to score as many goals as we can. And there's a game that I remember, and I knew we were going to boat race them. And I said, I'm telling you now, I'm sorry. They said, why are you going to do that? I said, I'm not going to do that. The bunch is going to do that, and here's why. As we run up and down this field in Vail, my son's getting his second hip operation. I need those doctors focused the entire time. His appointment is the same time that we take a face-off. We will play this thing as hard as we can. But here's the deal, ref. This game's only 44 minutes. My son's appointment's over 3 hours. So when you blow the whistle at the end of the game, we're still going to be moving and grooving. And what do you think happened? A beautiful, successful surgery, and we put up 100. But that's what I taught them back then, and that's what I teach them today. You have to be focused on anything you do in life the entire time, whether it's a silly lacrosse game, this Zoom meeting. All of your parents have jobs. If mom and dad don't feel like going to work or don't feel like staying focused, guess what? They lose their job and you don't live the lifestyle that you live. Every single thing, 112%, no matter what. You want to make pizzas, be the best pizza maker in the world. You want to make French fries, make the best French fries in the world. You want to be a doctor, be the best doctor in the world. You want to do interviews, be the best interviewer in the world. It doesn't matter what you do in life as long as you're happy doing it.
Absolutely, Mike. It's about being present in the moment, being where your feet are, and making sure that you give 112% every single time there. And I feel like I could keep asking you and keep hearing you, Mike, preach, because this is awesome. But I know that you've got things that you have to do as well. What are you focused on right now, or what can we help you with?
So, like I say, the focus is raising money for families with medical expenses fighting cancer. The easiest way is you can go to bradysbunchlacrosse.org. You can donate that way. You can reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, all those accounts if you're interested in the bunch and PLL friends coming to your state and raising money for people in your area. The bunch, we can get back on this and maybe do some live feeds when the bunch comes out to, well, we're waiting to find out, but I know the bunch will be out there. And it would be cool. You're from Arizona starting this. Without Arizona lacrosse, I wouldn't be here. We could set up maybe a couple times a month. I mean, on the 12th of a month, every so often, and maybe, I don't know how this works, have people call in and we can answer shows, answer questions, can have parents call in whose families are fighting cancer. We could have segments like that. We could talk about that 4-letter word, lacrosse recruiting. You know, let's try to get this going. And I just want you people to realize, if you went on our website and donated money, you're not donating it to me. You're not donating it to my son. I give it all away. I give it all away. It's not mine. It's mine to give other people. I don't know if there's 1,000 people watching. I don't know if there's 2 people watching, But what do I know? I know that if every single one of you watching right now donated $1, we could buy a family in the hospital lunch. So maybe she could get, her and her family could eat a Subway sandwich instead of the cafeteria food she's been eating for 3 or 4 or 5 years. Let's get out there and raise money. You and I will come together and figure out ways to do this. The world's a mess. The world needs help. But a little here and a little there goes a long way. We're not asking for hundreds of thousands. We're asking for what you can donate to help somebody else. Don't be afraid to help other people. One day it might come back to you.
Mike, thank you so much for your time today and what you're living into right now. It's truly amazing, and we will definitely be helping you moving forward. I'll make sure that we're posting everything so people can go to your website and make the donations there, and we'll continue to spread the love of Brady's Bunch, man. Thank you.
The other thing is, I mean, I can fill this Zoom call for 6 hours, but I just want you Arizona people to realize something. That Lax for Life event Dan and I started 13, 14 years ago, and I've been there a few times to speak at it. But Arizona, you've always been helping Brady, if you participated in that event or not. But let's kick it up a little bit and let's get some good money, and we'll give it back to Children's Phoenix. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. Honored to be here. And Bud, stay strong. You're doing good things, right? It's hard out there, Bud. It's hard. There's other websites. There's other this. There's other that. Wake up every day and just grind, grind, grind. And as long as you can go to bed every night knowing that you did your best, that's all that matters. Let me just remind you guys one thing. There's nothing more overrated in this world than money. It is what it is, community. Some people have a real lot and some have none. I'm worried about white blood cells. I'll give you all my money. Just give my boy good white blood cells. Stay strong, believe, keep grinding. Bunch for life.